Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. So there are two things that I want to focus on here, and those are powers and principalities. Simply put, powers and principalities are the spiritual rulers and authorities that govern the planet. This is something that was actually put in place by God, but instead of Christ governing this hierarchy, it is run by the devil. And so other fallen angels and demons hold rank in this hierarchy. So what does that mean? That means that every place that is a country on this planet is under the influence of a demonic presence. Not only are the rulers and authorities influenced by this presence, but citizens are also under the influence as well. I want to discuss this because of everything that is going on right now. Some people don't quite understand it. They don't quite understand why it's happening. It seems completely counterproductive to everything we as citizens have been aiming for over the past 2 years. But there is a reason why this happens. And it is the reason why it will always continue to happen until this system ends. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. So, those of you who travel often will probably understand how each location has a different feeling to it. Let's say you live in the United States and you decide to travel from California to New York. Now, aside from the obvious differences, they both have a different energetic feel to them. And that is because they are governed or under the influence of different spiritual presences. Let's break this down into cities. What is Las Vegas known for? It's gambling, casinos, nightlife, sex workers. It's Sin City, right? What about St. Louis, Missouri? What is that city known for, besides beer and baseball? Its consistently high homicide rate? What about cities like Amsterdam? What is that known for? Women and weed? Why do states like Montana have a high rate of sexual perversion, more specifically with bondage and sadomasochism, at the same time having a very high population of sex offenders? You see, principalities and powers are not just influencing individuals. These entities, their presence is felt in homes, towns, cities, and larger territories. Some cities may have a principality of murder present. Another city may have a hindrance principality. Another can have racism as its principality or sexual perversion. Some may have a gang principality or kidnapping principality in operation. And those principalities are unfortunately there to stay for the time being. So let me explain this, because there seems to be some confusion on what is meant by powers and principalities, or in other translations of the biblical scriptures, it's rulers and authorities, thrones, or dominions. In this existence, everyone has a job to do. When it comes to the discussion of angels and demons, many of us may be under the impression that there is this hierarchy, or that is what we are taught. But it is not so much a hierarchy than it is a difference in order of appearance. There's a difference in the age. Some are older, some are younger, because some fall into several categories of the known levels of the angelic hierarchy, which, by the way, is a man-made interpretation of someone's best educated guess, right? In the beginning, you have the Creator, God. You then have a set of angelic or heavenly beings that are very, very powerful because of the jobs they are going to have to do. One is going to have to save the world while the other tries to destroy it. They are the oldest and most powerful. Next, you have a set of angelic beings that work as celestial attendants and praise the Creator. Then there is another group of angelic beings whose job is to govern the laws of the universe. They govern the sun, the moon, they govern the winds, the waters, etc. Now, after all this is put in place, there are the plant and animal earthlings, and then man. And God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth." We are also spiritual beings, so we are not outside of that hierarchy, because there are angelic beings that were designed to be watchers. There are those whose roles are to interact with and guide us. They are not like us, we are like them, in that we are a different model angel, if you think of it that way. We are some amazing hybrid of angel and earth. And because we are a combination of both, we can make copies of ourselves. And see, this caused quite a few of those watcher angels to start stroking their chins, or at least they were influenced to. Now, do you really think they took Earth women because they found them attractive? No. They took the healthiest women they could find because they figured out that as long as they took human form, they could also make copies of themselves. At the same time, this was an attempt to corrupt the human genome to ultimately prevent the birth of Christ. Do you see? The angelic beings that bore Nephilim children were bound. However, there was an entire legion of them that fell with Satan. So what we end up with are fallen angels and demonic spirits working behind the scenes to bring ruin to mankind. Now, even though God has most of the control of who is chosen to be our leaders, at the same time, these dark entities go to work. And sometimes these dark spirits will be used by God for His purpose. So when you see fighting in the East, or anywhere for that matter, where the city is a center of power, there is history in that place, and it holds that ancient spiritual energy there. So any one person who becomes a leader there, doesn't really matter who they are. To some degree it does, but the bottom line is that person is subject to the influence of the spiritual presence that resides there. Has anyone noticed that our world leaders over the past 2 or 3 years have really taken the spotlight? I can guarantee you that many of you didn't know who many of these people were, at least before COVID. I bet a lot of you didn't even know who the leader of Ukraine was. I bet a lot of people didn't even know who the leader of Canada was up until a few years ago. And he's been around for a while. Now, I don't know if that says more about us than it says about them. But what I think is that what they are doing is intentional. They are making sure that everybody knows their names. They are all doing things and making decisions that keep making the world of citizens stop, look, and say, what the hell are you doing? Every leader in the world is tripping. I can't find one sound individual. And the world is noticing this too. Trust me, people do see this. Take a look at this photo. Take a good look. It is a TV show. It's like they all rotate when it comes to distractions. Putin, it's just his turn. This whole thing is not hard to figure out. It really isn't. Let us just keep our heads to the sky as we move forward. It's not going to be easy. You know, it's funny. I've seen people get a dose of the truth and they double down. That indomitable spirit I was talking about before. Some people take that truth or criticism and come back with an even stronger opposition, which always leads to their downfall. That's why I guess when dealing with people of a certain nature, it's always best to just move in silence. There is more to come, more to uncover. Be sure to visit woodwardentertainment.com and the Woodward Entertainment store. You can follow me on Instagram at JAEWoodward. That's all for now, but until next time, folks, make sure to always stay awake, stay aware, and stay safe. I'll talk to you all soon.